This would be interesting because I know a lot of people are either in college a lot of times, or they're going back to college, or are thinking about going back to college. And one thing that you will encounter a lot of in college is going to be writing papers. Okay, moving on. So the next thing I would say is make sure whatever you pick is going to be the most interesting topic to you. Or if you have a couple of subjects and you're like, okay, I really don't write on this subject, try to figure out a creative way, a creative angle to take on the subject. The teacher gives you a subject and you're like, this is a boring subject. I've found the one I think is going to be best, but it's still boring. Then look at it from a different angle. Find a different angle to write from. Find a creative angle to write from. Usually, if you are creative with a paper, then the teacher's not going to say, oh, this is a really bad paper. You just have to make sure that you keep it relevant, but you can be creative about the points that you make. Be creative about, okay, I'm going to come from it from this angle instead of the more straightforward angle. And that will make the paper more exciting to you. Yes, you still have to write the paper, but now you are doing it from a different angle. You're doing it from some creative way that you have decided to do it, some creative angle that you have decided that would be more interesting. And this will help keep the paper interesting to you. Just looking at a different way, looking at some way to make it a more creative process. And if you have ADHD, then you might appreciate that. You might appreciate that there is a more creative way to do this. There's a different angle that I can take. There is a angle that I really appreciate that I can write the paper on. There are some constraints, obviously, when you're writing a college paper, but there are also ways to make the paper more of a creative assignment, more of an interesting assignment. And that is the angle I am talking about taking. Okay, once you have decided everything about which subject or topic that you want to do, which is going to be the best, you want to make an outline. You want to write down your main subject, and then you want to write down subtopics of that subject as well. And then under the subtopics, you want to write out just some things that you want to make sure that you cover. And the advantage of this is you're planning out what you want to do in the paper. And the cool thing about an outline is you can do the main topic, the subtopics, and then you can break it down even more. If you know that you need more sections and you need to break it down even more because it's going to be better for you to break it down, then what you do then is you're going to break it down to even more sections and just plan it out. And then once you finish, you will have a plan of what you're going to cover in the paper. You're going to have a plan of what you're going to do and what each section will include. And then you have a plan for, okay, I'm going to do this section. And then this section includes these 3 sections that I've broken down. And then the next section includes these 5 sections that I've broken down. And the next section includes only 2 other sections that I need to do. And so now you have a complete plan through an outline, and you can say, okay, let's get started on this and this and this. And now you can start moving towards your end goal, which is completing the paper. And you have a roadmap to do that.